Hello, geometry students. Mr. Zacek back and better than ever with you here in lesson 2. We're going to talk about the general form of the equation of a circles. And this is a continuation of lesson 1 where we looked at the standard form, and we're going to convert equation of a circle to standard form by completing the square. So this is where the algebra, the focus on completing the square in algebra, some of the review we've done this year, here's where it finds its application. So here's how we go about doing that. We're going to group the related x terms together, and so let me just highlight where those x terms are for us here. So this would be the x term, and this would be an x term. And then we're going to group the y terms together, and then our constants, the numbers, we're going to move to the other side. So to do that, I'm just going to write this as x squared minus 4x, and then we've got plus y squared minus 6y. And if we're going to move 8 over to the other side, we do that by subtracting 8. So it would be minus 8. Okay, now, so that's kind of step 1. Step 2 is prepare to insert the needed values for creating perfect square trinomials. So what we're going to do is x squared minus 4x, we're going to add something, and then y squared minus 6y, we're going to add something to that, equals negative 8, and then we're going to add those things both to the other side. So I'll just kind of use some highlighters here to help us keep this, what's happening here. So we've got the x terms, and we're going to add something over here to that. And then we've got our, what did I use, blue? So we've got our y terms, and we're going to add something. And in order to keep it balanced, whatever we add to one side, we're going to have to add to the other side. And so we're going to, the way that we're going to do that is we're going to find each missing value by taking half of the b term and squaring it. So the b term for x here is negative 4, and so this will be x squared minus 4x plus negative 4 divided by 2 squared. Okay, and then we're going to do y squared minus 6y plus negative 6 divided by 2 quantity squared equals negative 8 plus, and then we got to add those to the other sides, negative 4 divided by 2 squared plus negative 6 divided by 2 squared. So let me again use the highlighter just to help us keep this straight. So we got this whole thing here, and we added this over there because of that, and then we've got this right here, and we added this over here because of that. And so what we've created now is we've got x squared minus 4x. So negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. Plus y squared minus 6y plus 9 equals negative 8 plus 4 plus 9. So what have we done here is again, I'll keep using our highlighter, we've created perfect square trinomials. So this is a perfect square trinomial, and this is a perfect square trinomial right here. And the reason we want to create perfect square trinomials is because we can rewrite these in factored form. That's what this step is, rewrite them in factored form, and that's just that b number divided by 2. So for x, we can rewrite this as negative 4 divided by 2 would be negative 2 squared, plus here it would be y minus 6 divided by 2, which would be minus 3 quantity squared, and then we just add these over here together. Negative 8 plus 4 plus 9, so that would be 4 and 9 is what? 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. And now we've got this equation of a circle here, which is going to have a center. Remember, we switched the signs of 2, 3, and then r squared equals 5, so the radius would be the square root of 5. So carrying over from lesson 1. All right, so that's how we do it. And as we you know, I'm trying to give you all of the steps up here written out like this so you can see it. But as we do more of these, it'll probably just kind of begin to happen a little bit quicker, and we don't have to write all of those things out. So let's try this next one. So we're going to regroup the x terms. So x squared plus 2x, I'm going to add a blank into mine. And then we've got plus y squared minus 4y, add a blank. And then we move that 11 over to the other side by adding 11, plus 11, plus 11. And then we're going to add our blanks and add our blanks. So again, I'll kind of highlight what we've got going on here, here, and here. And then the y is our blue, and here. Okay, so that's step one. Now we want to create perfect square trinomials. So what are we going to add to this? Well, it's b divided by 2 squared. So 2 divided by 2 squared, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. And then negative 4 divided by 2 squared, negative 4 divided by 2 squared. If you want to just simplify that, you're welcome to. I'm just wanting you to see what's happening here. So this would be x squared plus 2x plus 1 plus y squared minus 4y plus 4 equals 11 plus 1 plus 4. So again, we have our perfect square trinomial and our perfect square trinomial. So we can rewrite this as a binomial squared. It would be 2 divided by 2, so this would be x plus 1 squared, plus y, keep the sign of the b, so negative 4 divided by 2 would be 2 squared, equals 11, 12, 16. So then our center here would be negative 1, positive 2, and our r squared would be 16, so therefore our r would be 4. Okay, so again, that's what I mean when I say it's a little bit cleaner the way that you can write those out once you kind of know how to set this stuff up. So let's try another one here. So we've got x squared plus 6x, going to add a blank. We're going to group the y squared minus 8y. We're going to add another blank, equals, again, we're adding that 11 over to the other side. So 11, and then we got to add those blanks. So I'll just use a highlighter here again to kind of differentiate these, help us with our understanding of what's going on where. So we've got our pieces here. So we're going to take b divided by 2, 6 divided by 2 squared, negative 8 divided by 2 squared. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. So we got to add it to both sides in order to keep it balanced. So this will be x squared plus 6x plus 9 plus y squared minus 8y plus 16 equals 11 plus 9 plus 16. Okay, now what are we going to do? Well, we're going to rewrite those, and I'll show you which ones. I'll still have our highlighter here, so we're going to rewrite this. I'm going to rewrite this into a binomial. We've created a perfect square trinomial, so we're going to rewrite them as a binomial. So this would be 6 divided by 2, positive 3 squared, plus y minus, keep the sign in front of that 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4 squared. 11, 9, and 16 is 36. So our center would be negative 3, 4, switching the signs. And our r squared equals 36. Square root of 36 is 6. We reject the negative because we're talking about a radius which has a length. Okay. Now, little bit different in 4 and 5. We've got an extra thing here. And so find the center and the radius. Now here's what's different in this one is all of these numbers are not, we need to have a 1 in front of our x squared and y squared from completing the square in order for this to work. So how are we going to get that? Well, if we divide every term by 3, which is really dividing both sides by 3, here's what's going to happen. We can simplify this to start. So it'll become x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 2y minus 4 equals 0. And so now I'm going to do my kind of moving things around. X squared minus 4x, we're going to add a blank. And then y squared plus 2y, we're going to add another blank. I'm going to move that 4 over to the other side, and then we're going to add our 2 blanks. So we had to do a first step there just of cleaning some things up in order to be able to get this correctly. All right, so now we're going to take negative 4 divided by 2 squared. Whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other side. And then 2 divided by 2 squared. Whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other side. Okay, so this is going to be x squared minus 4x plus 4. Y squared plus 2y plus 1 equals 4 plus 4 plus 1. All right, we're going to rewrite this. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2 squared. This will be y plus 1 squared equals 9. So now that we got it in that form, our center would be 2, negative 1, and our r squared, which is 9, so our radius would be 3. Okay, last one. Same problem that we have here at the start is we don't have 1 as the coefficient of our x values. So in this case, instead of dividing by 3, we're going to divide by 2. And that would leave us with, that would create x squared plus y squared plus 3x minus 4y plus 6 equals 0. Okay, so now I'm going to move that around. So it's going to be x squared plus 3x. I'm going to add a blank. Y squared minus 4y. Going to add a blank. I'm moving that 6 over, so it's negative 6. And then I'm adding a blank for both of those pieces. Okay, so highlighter. Okay, this is our y. This is our x. So here we go. Let's see if we can, what are we going to add? Ooh, 3 divided by 2 squared. 3 divided by 2 squared. And then negative 4 divided by 2 squared. Negative 4 divided by 2 squared. So this would be x squared plus 3x plus, this will be 9/4. Y squared minus 4y plus 4 equals negative 6 plus 9/4 plus 4. So how do we rewrite this? So this would be x plus 3 over 2 squared plus y minus 2 squared. All I'm doing is taking the b and dividing it by 2, right? And so then I'm just going to put this in my calculator, negative 6 plus 9/4 plus 4. So negative 6 plus, little fraction template, okay, 9 over 4, and then I think what was the last one, plus 4, so arrow, plus 4. Okay, so that's 1/4. That'll be a fun little thing here. Good one for us to practice with. So our center is going to be the point negative 3/2, comma 2, switching the signs. Now our r squared is 1/4. When we take the square root of this, that's equal to the square root of 1 over the square root of 4. Square root of 1 is 1, the square root of 4 is 1/2. So the radius for that one would be 1/2. So a couple little extra, twist to that one. So good to see that, to keep that in mind. But there you have it, and that's why completing the square is so important, because it allows us to write these equations of circles. All right, I will see you soon. Let's ask and keep on asking questions.